Then let's put our hands together. Let's welcome on stage Monica Khurana, Country Head Board Member, MMA India. Can we be louder than Dhurandhar itself? Come on, let's bring that applause, everyone. Monica Khurana.
That tone sounded familiar? Did that tone sound familiar? Does that movie sound familiar? Have all of us watched it? Very weird question, but raise of hands, all of us watched it? Great. Then you'll relate to what I have to say, for sure. Okay, so let me get this going, and I thought a lot about how I want to set up the day, how I want to tell you how important this theme is, and why is this theme equal to a Dhurandhar moment, right? And which is why you'll hear a lot of times me say Dhurandhar in context of marketing, not Ranveer Singh, okay? Okay, so let's get rolling. So what I'm going to talk about is it's time to move from hype to enterprise value. And that switch is marketing's Dhurandhar moment. Hype to enterprise value. And that's the Dhurandhar moment we're going to talk about. Okay? So it's great to see a lot of familiar faces in the room. Some of you were with us yesterday, and those who were not with us yesterday are still familiar because you belong to the MMA community in some capacity or the other. So that said, now that you know what the topic is, let me dive straight in. And as I said, I thought a lot about what I want to talk about in context of this analogy. And for those who don't know, Dhurandhar means someone who's powerful, accomplished, and highly capable, yeah? And that means those are the adjectives that make you best suited to create value, right? So now that we know what it means, that it is about being capable, it is about being a stalwart, the movie itself proved that how, in its own way, it did a Dhurandhar number on the way it marketed itself as well, right? It is actually a business case for a lot of us today, right? And you know why? Because as we talk about it, if you noticed, it didn't make too much noise. It didn't have hype, right? It let it travel on its own. It let it get recommended. It let it get loved. It let it get discovered. It did it all, right? And that's what it did, and that's how it actually ensured that it was able to prove its value, right? And that's why we are saying that this is essentially the way value gets created. And that's why that is the way we can all be working towards that value creation journey together. So as I talk more about this, the conversation which we were talking about, and you're going to now see a switch. We've seen enough of him in the movie, but what we're going to talk about now is as hype gets attention, value earns trust. That's the thinking here, right? And it builds momentum. And that is why, coming back to MMA, the focus for MMA is advancing marketers' ability to create value, and impact as a platform is an attempt to bring that to you, right? We are here to help you create value and to help you create your Dhurandhar moment. Yesterday, Rohit, who was with us, and he's the APAC CEO of MMA, did speak about how trust around marketing has always been fragile, right? And it is time to end the age of opinions in marketing. It is time to ensure evidence-based, science-based marketing, and to really believe in marketing science in its truest sense. So it's key for us as an industry to come together, to have conversations like these, and actually peel marketing science which exists behind success of marketing. And what you're going to notice is over 2 days, we have handpicked narratives that are straight from the boardroom, which resonate as value creators. Are we good? Yeah. So over 2 days, we have handpicked narratives that, as I said, have come straight from the boardroom to this room. And I'm going to talk more about what these narratives are. So let's start off by talking about a very powerful narrative we've been discussing a lot in the boardroom. In fact, I have some of my board members here, and they would relate to what we are saying, is about financial fluency. When financial fluency for marketers today is extremely important, and it cannot be discounted if we genuinely have to create value. Therefore, what we also attempted doing yesterday here was talk more with the CMOs and CFOs in the room together on this very stage on what is it that CMOs and CFOs get wrong, and what is it that they need to fix with each other, right? And there was a lot of mention about water cooler conversations with CMOs and CFOs need to begin to have, just in case you're not having them. It's a good start. And there was also a mention about going out for a beer together is not a bad idea either with your CFO. That said, the other powerful narrative that we've been talking about a lot is around retail media and commerce. Again, straight from the boardroom to impact, because funnels are truly collapsing. And therefore, it is an important narrative, and we recognize that. So we were one of the first ones to also set up a retail media think tank at a regional level, and also have India members participate and actively contribute to it. So the think tank has been evangelizing a lot about full funnel marketing in retail media. And yesterday itself, at Impact, we had a very interesting conversation on the new brand building imperative, where you rethink the funnel and use retail media as a full funnel medium. So that said, there is something very interesting that we have been working towards very actively with the MMA AI Council, which is about leveraging AI to create business value, right? Which is extremely important. This is AI fluency. It is not when you are using it to create content and make creatives or better what you want to present. It's not that. It's about how do you use AI to create business value and move beyond experimentations. And that's what we've been deeply decoding with our AI Council and at Impact, for which yesterday we launched a report, which in case you've missed, feel free to scan the QR code or to get the link from the team on AI marketing maturity, which is a power-packed report which talks about how do you drive AI adoption to truly create business value, and what does it take to do it. And we had EY as our knowledge partner and Mob Avenue as our AI partner to do that, and it came to life after 9 months of deep work and deep conversations with 60 marketers. The other area, which has been an important narrative for MMA, is measurement, because trust is not built through confidence. Trust is built through proof, and we recognize that. Therefore, we have been actively evangelizing a lot of work which we do at our think tank, which is Marketing Attribution Think Tank. It is a global think tank with very power-packed proprietary frameworks, and which are proven to actually drive real value and real business impact. So that said, whilst all of these are important narratives, none of it is possible if you don't build capabilities to actually adopt and learn and use and know how to apply them. So we do believe in the power of applied knowledge more than we've ever before, and therefore we do drive many, many capability building initiatives. And one of those is also a very active ongoing series we run for marketers, which is called Decoding AI for Marketers, which is a live training series, and it is available to all our members. So these are essentially some of the ways in which we've been driving board narratives. The last and the most important one, actually equally important. I cannot discount that all of these have their own place, which is the one where we even have Arjun here to tell us more about it, and we couldn't have had someone better to start this narrative with us today than Arjun, because today we're going to talk a lot about reciprocity of learnings between incumbents and insurgents. And because we recognize, and MMA is the first one to bring this narrative to you at an industry level and be the melting pot to understand what can incumbents learn from insurgents and what can insurgents learn from incumbents. And it's really the fusion of both will help you drive growth. So that is essentially a lot to take away from a 2-day crash course at Impact, isn't it, right? So it is all worth your time. It is all worth missing office and just being here and soaking it all up, right? So that said, remember, it doesn't end here. These are narratives we pursue all year round, and all it takes for you to embrace and learn more about it is by becoming an MMA member and continuing the path of value creation. So our role, therefore, as an organization is to really convert or to keep you away from the noise and to really give you applied knowledge, which is what will help you drive business growth. So that's a quick recap of the narratives you'll see that we have been evangelizing since yesterday and will conclude today. And you know what's very interesting and makes me very proud to tell you is that this agenda has many, many firsts. The one being that we actually have VCs in the room to talk to us and to tell us really how the new playbooks are evolving. We actually had a CFO in the room yesterday share the stage with the CMO and have collaborative conversations on how can they do better with each other in the interest of business. And we, for the first time, are bringing the merged learnings between incumbents and insurgents and enabling reciprocity. Can it get bigger and better? And that's what this 15th edition has to offer. So without taking much time, I'm going to close with a couple of more shout-outs. So as I was telling you about the playbook, you want me to take over? As I was telling you about the playbook that we're going to launch today has 80 contributors. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it has, that's fine, don't worry. Okay, so the playbook has 80 contributors, which we're going to launch today. And these 80 contributors are MMA members and practitioners from the industry, bringing to you perspectives from incumbents and insurgents. So we as an alliance recognize that alongside capability, responsibility and inclusivity is important. And for that, we have Manisha with us from ASCII, who's the CEO, and she's going to really guide us through a very deep conversation on how it is important, whilst we embrace these new capabilities, to use them responsibly. And as an industry, we're not just here to give you knowledge, but to also give you perspectives on the guardrails with it. So with that, we'll also talk more about AI inclusivity, where what we respect and recognize that AI adoption is incomplete if it is not inclusive. So how do we make sure that it is inclusive and has adequate involvement from women leaders as well? So that's going to be some of our highlight sessions of the day. And on that note, what I do want to do is do a big shout out. Thank you. Do a big shout out to all our partners without whom this would not have been possible today. So let's give it up for our partners, please. It's a big round of applause for all of them. And you know what makes this slate very, very distinct is if you closely look at it, it actually represents every single marketing channel which is bringing value to the industry. Every single, be it open internet, be it social media, be it AI adoption, be it regional media, be it content. So we have actually tried to curate every single narrative which is the new marketing mix of today and which needs to be understood, decoded effectively. And I think it's very rare that you see a slate like this come together, and which is why it makes this event what it is today. And of course, it does not just get supported by great partners, it gets supported by a great lineup of speakers, which we're very proud to have again. Yesterday we had Manish open the day. He had some very, very powerful thoughts to share. We had Vivek Gambhir and we had Kanan Sitaraman, who himself brought in live learnings from his 9-year journey on what's disrupting incumbents. So that was what it was, and today continues to be as powerful and as enriching as yesterday. So with that, whilst I will wait for, can you go back, please? So with that, what I do want to say is I've said thank you to my partners, to my speakers, to all my support, all my media members and everybody who supported us. But you know what? I cannot leave this stage till I say thank you to a cohort of people who deserve the loudest shout out they can get today. And those are our MMA India Dhurandhars. This is the MMA India team who's made it all come together. Let's give them a big round of applause. So I'm going to leave the stage with them as my last slide because this has been only possible with this team coming together to do what they did. A lot of them have worked with you closely, so you'd recognize them. But it's all of them together who's made Impact what it is. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day ahead.